Hey, what up there, y'all? How you doing this fine day? I was on this website that I really enjoy, and it's a bunch of really good researchers, and they talk about the history that we're given, and the history that seems to be closer to the truth, because it's really hard to, you know, scrape all of these elements of, you know, a little bit of truth, a whole bunch of lies. What's up, Jake Wynn? It's really hard to scrape all of these different things together in a small period of time and do research on it to figure out where we live, what's really going on. And it's a great website. It's called Stolen History. Yet, sometimes what happens is people come on there and the amount of pseudo intellectuals is amazing, and the amount of people that use their pseudo intellectualism by being very pedantic, and then during the during the time using uh, countless logical fallacies to say, hey, I like what you guys are doing here. I've been a big fan, and I just haven't got any, I haven't gotten the comments because oftentimes when I have, uh, my comments are met with like no hard data. It's just like this long conversation where people are trying to out nice the other person. Because I was reading this one, it was like you could tell the person was just a complete fucking moron that was making this. Well, I really want to know. I want to know the truth. I don't, but I'm also, I'm highly schooled in these things, and you guys use this reasoning that because politics is politics is motivated by money, and politics is motivated by, that it's always the case, that it's motivated by some other something other, some hidden hand, that it's always the case. And it's mad frustrating, because it's like that's the since all of the history we've been given is biased towards the lies that they need to use to maintain an architecture and system of control over the masses. It's very easy to control masses. It's very difficult to control individuals that use their brain, because they've done a lot to make sure people don't use their brains. Uh, so I look. It was literally like a back and forth for like just paragraph after paragraph. I'm like, who's sitting around like typing all this out? And it was the most pedantic diatribes of non sequiturs and ridiculous. Like, well, you think that the government's always going to do that? I found that plenty of information I'm given in school is right. It didn't, and it's not wrong, and that you go on. Everyone under this site goes on this type of they don't really have any hard data, and that they are just making guesses and theories at things. And the person was plainly like, and then went on to say, but politics and finances are not linked. And then somebody says, I hate to break it to you, but science and scientism, politics, religion, and money. Well, they didn't use all of that. I added a couple things in there. They just said that politics was not money motivated, because they're not there for control. I was like, well, you're a complete fucking liar, or you're controlled so much that you want to sound hyper intelligent, yet you sound like a pseudo intellectual, that you can, just because you can repeat something that someone has told you, is a cause for alarm. It's there's no there was so you can regurgitate information. That's called trivial pursuit. There's no scholarship there. There's no deepening of wisdom or insight in any way to be scholarly. Being people are being trivial and being pedantic, and they're able to regurgitate anything that somebody else tells them, so they choose to believe what their school system said and what their governments say. everybody else is like, well, if everything they've been doing is consistently across the board, there's like hundreds and hundreds of topics on this site. Continuing across the board, there is no quality information that we're being given by anything that tends to be popular. If it's mainstream, it almost certainly is some sort of garbage along, some sort of garbage inside of there. And it's not throwing the baby out with the bathwater. It's just that such a large amount of it is. And when you realize that everything is infected with either or all of the above, either religion, uh, scientism. This is so much right now in the world is regulated and relegated to a scientism mindset, not to science, to what science actually is. People just love to use the word science because that's their god. There's no difference between scientism and religion, but people plainly state all the time that they believe in science. No, they don't. They believe in what an authority told them, just like a priestcraft. So it's going to be politically motivated. It's going to be monetarily motivated. It's going to be power motivated. It's going to be motivated by religion. It's going to be motivated by scientism. Some aspect of that is going into what they teach. What you do not give anyone the tools of setting themselves free from that control system. You wouldn't do that, and that's the whole point. Is within the entire system that they've created. It's not for you to escape. You can to a degree, and you can get outside of bounds of things and look from other realms of what's going on. Sure, but as Noam Chomsky so aptly put it, that what they like to do is give people the illusion of choice, the illusion of freedom, by letting people argue as much as they want in between very small boundaries. Like you can see it right now. So people are arguing. The small boundary is, what the fuck does the media say about this dude who's orange, and what does it say about this dude who can't even complete a sentence without suffering from some amnesia, who looks like he's gonna fall over, and his eyes are always like, like the amount of insanity in the world. Like, so you can argue all you want about that. You know nothing about their politics. You know nothing about what's going on at all. But people have these wild debates and arguments. They think there's freedom in that, and like you're given only two choices. Argue as much as you want. There's narrow window in which to argue something that you really know nothing about. And this is across the board in everything. But then somebody will somehow connect all the dots and say, oh, look, within all of these systems, there's this always a I guess it's not a confirmation bias, but there's a way of like, here, if you realize that across the board, every system that you look at is corrupted to some degree, and usually to a lot of degree, by what I've already stated, between the motivation for power, which uses politics, uses media, uses religion, uses money, uses scientism to create power dynamics. If you can't see that, like, I mean, who has time to do that? Not too many people. And when you see it's in everything, I make this simple reference. How the fuck does it cost more for water than it does for Coca-Cola or Pepsi or your soda? How? There's a whole process. There's marketing. There's everything that goes into creating a can of cola, right? You need the sugar. You need the that's pretty big cost there, considering the amount of sugar they put in there. So they got to have sugar. That's an added cost. So right away, it should cost more for clean. So what they do is take clean water, and then they put sugar in it. And the funny thing is, companies usually start with distilled water. It's more expensive to distill water than it is to just get your spring water or your Dasani or whatever garbage water you're getting. But yet, if I go to the store, it's going to cost me $2 for water and 99 cents for cola. That right away must tell you something. The fact that it's cheaper to buy It's it's more expensive to buy organic food than it is to buy conventionally grown. How is that even possible? To grow organic food, you literally need to do less things. There's literally less to do in every way. The only thing that costs money there is you got to go pay for licenses. You got to pay for this. You got to pay for them to test your food. They got to, and then you're lucky to even. You have to pay a little extra on top to make sure you can put that label of GMO free, organic on there. It's absolutely insane. And we're talking about just the things that it takes for us to live. Water. That's just a pretty much life across the board. We need water, and yet it's un it's unobtainable by the general population uh, in any form that's not excessively oppressively expensive. We're talking like if you're not buying a gallon of distilled water from somewhere because you don't know, you already think distilled water is bad for you, so you've already missed the boat on that. But you're buying those 20-ounce bottles or whatever at a time to get yourself a gallon of water. You're gonna be up to $10. It's more expensive than gasoline, and you're not even going to be guaranteed that that's good, clean, healthy, pure water. You're not going to be assured of that. But yet, a basic human necessity would seem like a basic, normalized. I'm not going to call it a right, but shit. If you can't even secure that for everyone for free, that's insane. So you're telling me at the most basic level, you're telling me the pharmaceutical companies aren't in cahoots with the companies that. So everything across the board is completely manipulated to you not understanding anything. And then somebody goes, oh, you're a conspiracy theorist. No, I'm not. I understand what conspiracy means as a word, and most of it is it's a fact. It's a fact that if I want to go play soccer, I work with a bunch of other people to score a goal. That's what to conspire means. People work together to a common goal. So there's no theories here. It's a fact, and it just so happens that their common goal includes not having you know anything. Their common goal in most of these organizations is selling you an inferior product at a higher price. Their goal is to have more power, more money, more. You get less. That's their goal. So it is, in fact, not a theory. It is a fact that people and corporations conspire together to make it so. It could be for a good reason. It could be. And there are probably organizations that do. But there are plenty of organizations that don't. And that's the majority of them. Including, if you knew your history and who you are and what you are, I don't want you to know this. Who you're connected to, your lineage, your bloodline. They don't want you to know these things. They tell you all sorts of fake shit. You can throw out any corporation, throw it in right there. I'll tell you exactly where it's corrupt. I don't care what it is. Oh, you think your school systems? Yeah, right. The first thing you go to, you talking your entrainment camps, your propaganda minister camps. They're just going to tell you. So yeah, you think that where you live, everybody goes, oh, South Korea, China, this, they have propaganda. You don't think every country does? Every company does? You're silly. You're silly to think that. It's moronic. The amount of stupid people is unfucking believable. And right now we're at a divide where it's so obvious how angry that smart people should be, but we go, oh, what's the use? This is about as angry as I get. You see these stupid people are out rioting and raging and like just being completely moronic. It's unbelievable. All of these things are tied together, and nobody will accept it. You know why? Because they know somebody they know a good person. They know a good person that is a doctor. I don't give a fuck if he or she is a good person, whatever you believe good people to be. I don't know, because I don't find doctors to be good people, because I know what they're doing is causing a shit storm of issues related to making people unhealthy. Now, they might not know that, and in that, it makes them at least a better person, because if they're ignorant of it, what can you do? You can try to inform them, but they're not going to believe that their 8 years of schooling and $300,000 in debt is actually causing people more harm than good. They don't want to know that, but everybody knows the doctor. Oh, he's a good person. Everybody knows somebody that's in some sort of line of business. Oh, that's a good person. I don't care. They're working for a corporation that is not of a good. Would you say somebody that works at McDonald's is a good person? Would you say McDonald's is a good corporation to work for? No one in their right mind would say that that's a good corporation to work for. Yet people need jobs. People got to do it. It's something to do. Do you just stop working at McDonald's? Okay, if everybody stopped buying McDonald's, what are they going to do? Where are they going to go start buying food at? So where are the people that used to work at McDonald's going to go work? I guess they'll have to gravitate towards where all these people are going to go shop next. Where are they going to go shop for Walmart? They're gonna go Walmart to get their food. They're going to go to a better. I don't know. I'm just ranting here because just watching these selections, and people think they're electing something. And then also, I mean, like what I see in public and the little conversations I will have in public because everyone's wearing a mask, so you can't talk to them because they're like, I'm like, take the dick out of your mouth. How's that? Let me hear what you're saying. I can't read your face. There's so much information that comes out of someone's face, like from here to here. If I'm doing this, you never know what I'm doing. You don't know what I'm saying. You actually read people's faces when you talk to them. You can tell a great deal more about what they mean than what they're saying by sign language, the signs and symbols of their face that they're making. How you think poker's played? You think people are just sitting there going, ha, da, da, da. Now you go to, now how easy it must be at casinos to play poker. Everybody's going to have a mask on and glasses, and like you can't even tell. I mean, it's a fucking joke. Let me see who's up in here. 19 people, 5 thumbs up. That means 14 of you don't have fingers. I don't know even how you got on here. What's up, Jake Wynn? What's up, William Childs? What's up, my guy? Full Spectrum. What is up, dude? I've been kind of offline, dealing with some other shit, dude, as per usual. I got you those answers to the 2 people that need some assistance. I didn't know what the other one was, but I figured out what that is. That shouldn't be too hard of a fix, really. And these people you got to remember they got to be willing to like do what I say, or else I don't want to. I don't. I've had too many people not listen to me, and then it doesn't work because they don't listen. I don't need that because I don't want to be held responsible for someone. Well, it doesn't work. Like, did you do everything I said? Well, no. That's something I dealt with, and this is probably why, at this advanced stage, it still doesn't. It's still not been a viable thing for me. Which is mad frustrating. Somebody asks you for your help about something, and then they just don't do what you say. And if they don't do what I say, and it turns out wrong, like then I look like an asshole. I'm not trying to look like assholes to people. You know, I can be an asshole on my own the way I like to be an asshole, but not when I'm trying to help somebody with health. Just so you understand. Just a lot of thoughts going through my head, a lot of shit that I've just recroppings of. See, sometimes in life, you're learning a lesson, and other times you are the lesson. You are teaching the lesson. And what I have to tell most people most of the time is, you're gonna get this fucking education. You're gonna get this work today. People don't understand. They don't want to understand. Still 18 people, 9 thumbs up. So there are 9 people that literally voice to computer. They don't know how to access the button on the screen. Always funny to me. Always funny. What's up, Dot? Yeah, I'll get at you too, man. What's up, Will Johnson? Tom Porter, what's up, dude? And Thought, I'll get at you. I've just been fucking the non-sleeping man and other shit that I've been fucking with, dude. Just haven't been in a good mental space. We're working on it, you know. Rose oil is you'd be right. That's definitely something. It's one of the strongest, if not the strongest, next to helichrysum. There's a frequency at which it runs at, and it lines up as a higher frequency oil, and it lines up with the heart. And since since the dilemma was a heart issue. Yes, right off the bat, it's red stuff. It's beets. I mean, and I'll talk to you and I'll talk to her about this. Um, it's beets, apples, um, rose oil. You make rose tea, all sorts of things. Yes, those are mad helpful. And then beets are very important. And then there'll be some connections to clogged up tubes that are going there that need to be cleaned. Um, yeah, I'll get into that. Uh, well, yeah. I mean, I got you. I got you covered. I mean, it's just going to include like, it's got to be some cleaning with some juices, not eating garbage. I don't know if she smokes or doesn't. That's pretty much that's got a ceased and desist order, or it's got to turn into natural tobacco. Um, there's a lot of things that will clog up pores going into the heart that will cause it could turn into palpitations or just feeling very uneasy about, um, feel almost like heart attacky. Yeah. And then there's also the underlining traumas of, relationships and things like that that we can get into that has an effect on that. Yeah, I thought that's. I mean, yeah, I like to be there for people when they're not having a good time mentally. But if I'm not, I don't like. What good am I going to be? You know, I'm gonna be a fucking bump on the side of a log. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, that and then the hypo. That it's not going to change much about the thyroid, the issues. That's an issue that most people have right now, and that one's that one should be a pretty easy fix, especially especially if it's hypo. Hypo meaning not working as well. Hyper means overproduction. So if something is hypothyroid or hypo whatever, it's usually because of clogs. Most people are dealing with an underused organ or gland, and those are just it's a matter of massage and a few other things that you'd put into the body that will get that kick started. But yeah, I'll get to you fully on that. Hey, look at that. Do enjoy that. More thumbs up than there are people in the room. That's great. It went from the other direction. Always nice to see that. People think I be mean or rude sometimes. No, it's just uh, I ain't got time for people to be like, I don't know. Just I ain't got time for the shit. So people always try to get in the way of things, not not paying homage in currency or any other ways to people that be helping them out. Take advantage of shit. It's mad bullshit. But just people think that I'm being like, well, you're rude, and I'm like, oh, I think that the 2,500 videos that I've made, I've been way more than I've been 99.8% of the time not rude at all. In fact, inspiring and helpful in teaching. So a couple of those times, if I'm pissed off or I have a problem or something, I tell somebody to fuck off. You know, eat shit. It doesn't bother me. You know. I wasn't. I didn't. I didn't come here to pay somebody else's bills, but yet I still am. It's still costing me money to do. Anyways, so what else? What else? What's good on everybody's plate today? What's happening good in the world? I have these little sugar ants that just get into my shit. Is it divine light? These little sugar ants that if I leave anything that has sugar on my table, they're just like, "Hi, I'm gonna jump onto your table and get into your glass of lemonade." Yes. I don't know where they come from. I guess this building just has little sugar ants. And then there's the. You moving back to Florida? Florida. Good luck on that. What part? And I will give you some advice if you are. You better do it before a certain date, yo. I don't know if you have a choice in the matter, but it better be at the beginning of the month. So later than that, it probably ain't gonna be able. It probably ain't gonna happen. Might be difficult. Just my 2 cents on the ideas. Funny enough, Jay Marley, Orlando, and now is that a guarantee? Like you have a place and everything? Because Jay Marley from here, he has a place. I don't think anybody. He said he wanted somebody to watch it, but he's like he doesn't trust anybody that like, lives around him. So he's got like an empty place in Florida for a little bit. I don't know if you were staying there, what your deal is. I could probably talk to him. But he lives on the in Sarasota. He got a place in Sarasota, and he just went out to Cali to hold down fort in Cali apparently, November 14th. Ooh, thought. Well, hopefully the predictions that I've been playing with and other people have been decoding either get pushed back or don't come to pass at all, which would be great if they don't. But you know, um, yeah, there'll probably be what's up, lyric sense. I never heard lyric sense. I never heard it said that way. But yeah, um, do I think the plasma event could be a program like the New Age thing? It could be. It could be something they do. The whole thing could be a full-on staged event. But there's so much that we see in our reality that is mud floody, that is melted buildings, that is cities with cities beneath them. There's so much evidence of giants. There's so much evidence of that across the board that these things seem to happen, and that the orphan trains, all this kind of weird stuff that was going on in the 1850s and 1900s. That's hard to. I mean, there's even this idea that we have 1,000 years added to our history because of the letter I, or the number. What everybody thought was like the number one is actually the letter I. And you look at like documents that are saying you think it says 1500 or 1600 or even 1700. It's not. It's saying it's the letter I, and then 765 that they added 1,000 years of just written fake history. So, I mean, just all of the giant architecture and everything just says that I think it's a little more something happening. It could be staged for certain. I don't see why not. I never heard the five filters that way. Tell you, well, I mean, the major things seem like so there'll be an event probably the 19th of this month, and then the 9th of next month, major. Um, and I don't think the 9th of next month is. I think there's definitely something that will occur there on some major scale shit. Um, because this election thing, all of the energy that they're putting into it, it's for a reason and a purpose. And how much chaos is involved. Chaos is energy. The more chaos they cause, the more energy they can extract from something. And if they go to the point of even stumbling through this election, not letting it happen, there's a lot of things that will happen. Mm. I mean, I think it's gonna be fun. I mean, I'm all for it either way. Like whatever's gonna, you know, there's people that can profit off of the future by just knowing what it's going to be by creating it. And there'll be people that by proxy will be part of that, and there'll be, you know, like, seems cool to me. Um, Savan and Dr. Cass are back on meat. I mean, bro, I don't really. I have a lot of people that want that direction. I don't. In the largest scale, in the largest idea, I do not see it. I don't agree with it. However, I do know that meat and blood and types of things have a value to them. There are plenty of cultures that use them, but I also know that the human experience. I have a book right here. Let me read you something, and we'll see if you know who this is. It says, oh, this is a fun one. I was talking about this earlier. Anybody that conducts an argument by appealing to authority is not using his intelligence, he is just using his memory. That's Leonardo da Vinci. And here's a couple other good ones. Oh, this is one of my favorites. One farmer says to me, "You cannot live on vegetables food. You cannot live on vegetable food solely, for it furnishes nothing to make muscles and bones with." And so he religiously devotes a part of his day to supplying his system with the flesh and raw materials of animal, talking all while he walks behind his oxen, which, with vegetable-made muscle and bones, jerk him and his lumbering plow along in spite of every obstacle. Henry David Thoreau. Albert Einstein, everybody's boy. It is my view that the vegetarian manner of living, by its purely physical effect on the human temperament and intellect, would most beneficially influence the lot of mankind. Here, and there are the ideas of the future, of which some are already approaching realization and are obliging people to change their way of life and to struggling against the former ways. Such ideas in our world as those of freeing the slaves or giving equality to women or ceasing to use flesh food and so on and so forth. Leo Tolstoy. I have from an early age abhorred the use of meat, and the time will come when men such as I will look on the murder of animals as they now look upon the murder of men. So, do I agree with these people? Absolutely not. I'm not gonna. I don't judge them. They can go eat animal product and get energy from it and believe it's doing something. But they also hold on, Savan. Just to make it clear, Savan uses salt and sells salt. It's dehydrating him. It's not giving him. It's not giving him the pure, bright, wonderful energies that he always has. The salt is doing it because he's ingesting a poison. Meat is gonna. I had a friend that was vegetarian for a while, and he blamed his health problems on being vegetarian, not on the fact that he was an unhealthy vegetarian. And then he went to meat, everything changed, everything got better in his life. I don't agree with it. Go ask the giant monks. You know the giant monks. Go ask the strongest warrior class of the Shaolin monks. Go ask the entire culture of, I don't know, millions and millions of people in Gujarat, India, if they've ever used meat, and they'll tell you exactly the same thing. No, they eat vegetarian diets, and they grow old. They have bright eyes, strong intellect. You know, they use milk, butter, ghee, healthy death free foods, and vegetables. There's plenty of cultures across the world that don't use meat. It's an idiotic, unfound, ridiculous thing. And anybody that's going back to using meat, to me, and again, I eat meat. Why? Because I enjoy it, and I practice a different lifestyle. I would consider it something to do with, I can't bring that meat back to life. It's there. Okay, let me clean up that for you. I clean up people's messes that they've made, like a vulture, like a shaman, like eating death to bring life to the world. For me, that's why I wouldn't go out of my way to start collecting a cow so I can kill it and eat its meat. I think that's moronic and very, very low level shit. Just the way I see it. And I'll be sitting here, and I will sit down and eat. I'll eat a plate of food. They got it, whatever. They got fresh cut beef. I'll eat it. But to say that anyone needs it it's simply wrong. Period. It's just wrong. There's no way you cannot prove that it's needed. It's just it's moronic. It's a moronic. It's a fool's quest to do, because all I have to do is walk over and say, "See these Shaolin monks? What do they eat? Rice." People say white rice is no good. Ask them. They're not of healthier mind, body, and spirit than most people. Go ask these strong, long-lived cultures that are vegetarians. It's moronic. It can't be proven, and it just makes people that say it sound retarded. I don't mean no care, boy. I do not care what they think. Like, how do you push that? I know plenty of people that for years they went from a vegan diet. Well, of course you're eating plastic and stupid manufactured things. People left the garden of Eden. It was the garden. It wasn't a go kill animals of Eden. See, and this is not. I'm the one's judge. They can do anything they want. I sit down and eat with these people, even if it is meat. But purely from a logical standpoint, from a health standpoint, it is 100% absolutely without question unneeded. Especially coming from people that I mean, I don't understand. Like, Savan has been a huge dude. He's been vegetarian for quite a long time, and all of a sudden just needs meat. I don't know. Seems a little weird to me. Seems a little weird. Something funny. Something funky going on. Yeah, lyric sense. Well, if you got more energy than you can handle to use, why do you think you would get less energy? So you see the logic here. So you think that by eating a dead animal, you have less energy? That's not what will happen. If you eat a properly prepared dead animal, uh, you probably have more energy. There's other things you can do to the ground, and again, this isn't just because tubers aren't grounding you out. It's literally where we are now in the cosmos. There is just happens to be more chaotic energy in the universe. There's more people wilding the fuck out. There's the plasma that's happening. There's the ozone layer in our sky depleted. The sun is changing. Everything about the energy of this realm is changing. So of course it's more energy. A dead animal's so it would that would only prove my point further, that if you have too much energy from fruits and vegetables, then a dead animal is going to be of less power. It would certainly. I mean, if you live in certain areas, it wouldn't be a bad idea, because you need whale blubber. If you're living in Alaska, if you're into it, if you're living in a cold climate, of course you're not going to be eating vegetation. But for the majority of us that live in warm climates, it's not a sound thing to do. There's so many other ways to exert energy, to gain energy. I mean, the point of it really, if we're going to be honest here, let's get real honest. The point of it is you never need to sleep. Your highest form of body, your light bodies, you have like the etheric, and then you have these shells of bodies. It doesn't sleep. It can't sleep. It doesn't. It needs not sleep. And it's working off of pure etheric energy. And then as we densify that, we sleep more. Plenty of ways to use energy. It's just get creative with it. As if I was talking about this thing yesterday. I was just watching one of his videos. He says if you want real energy and real like power, like you need to cycle it. It'll come back to you, but you'll get more of it. You know, it'll cycle. I mean, yeah, it's at some point you're just like, whoa, I need to slow down. I just need I need to break from this. There's plenty of things you do, but it doesn't require meat. Yeah, my man thought. Well, here, give us some ideas. You've been doing meatless for 20 years. I did it for I always say 7 years, but it's longer than that. Probably like 9 years, 10 years. And then I slowly got into eating meat once in a while, and it was only because I live in New Orleans. You're not escaping the idea that if you want to immerse yourself in the culture of a place, that you should eat their cuisine. And it wasn't difficult to find vegetarian food here, because I did the veggie thing here for a while. And then one day somebody got a steak. I was like, and they knew I've been vegetarian for like 8 or 9 years, 10 years, I don't know. I know. We were talking about. I was like, "Why you get that steak?" And, yeah, because it's blah, blah, it's blah, blah. I was like, "Give me that steak." So I grab it and I just started eating it. And he's like, "What the fuck?" I was like, "Because it doesn't bother me. It just isn't needed. It's not a requirement for life." Your mindset says it's a requirement for life. Your mindset says that you have too much energy. Who ever complain about too much energy? I know. I understand. I complain about it too. Not being able to sleep and shit. And there's just not a lot of options right now of things to do. Like before, I could go out and run around my city, go to the park, go listen to some music, go listen, go dance, go do a bunch of things, and there's just not those options. So you're left pushing energy up here and get stuck in your mind, and it's hard to ground out. I don't discount that, but it doesn't mean meat. Um, yeah, boxing, kickboxing. Son Matthew Maxwell. Shiva, I'm not Shiva. Shiva's I'm probably Shakti. I play Shiva once in a while, but Shakti usually. Yeah, Joey Scott, I got you on the fish too. I mean, you need to. It's just where we are with the types of energies that are happening. It's the only way to break it to you. So I mean, if you need to eat meat, go for it. I mean, again, as I point out very plainly and clearly, like I eat meat with every meal. Absolutely not. Every day, no. But if I want to, yes, just because I desire to. And sometimes that will slow me down to I can take a nap or something. I mean, I get you, but it's not the only way to do it, and it's not the only outlet. Um, it just seems like when people it's already killed, it's already dead. I mean, I can't, I got high levels of magical powers, but I can't bring a piece of steak back to life. And why would I? Would you be sitting there flopping around on my plate? No eyes, no feet, no nothing. I'd rather just eat it, turn it into something, compost through my whole alchemical system, and then go shit it out where it can be used again because it's already dead. So I'll eat that dead food. Might as well. You know what? You might as well go eat some microwave food. About the same thing. There's plenty of things you can eat that are just as lowering of energy, and um, that would be what meat would do. If you really want to eat meat the right way, go mark that yourself. Beat the shit up, kill it, rip it apart, and then eat it with its entrails and everything. Everybody claims to be a meat eater. You ain't a meat eater. Okay, fine. Use your tools. Go kill a thing. Go ahead, even if you got to, but you should eat it raw. You know what? I don't even like eat entrails. Eat the meat, but eat it basically raw. Healthiest way you can. Uh, I don't know who started Daniel Drury when he went Muay Thai fighting. He used to be hardcore vegetarian and drinking piss, and then one day he was like in Thailand training. He's like he could buy a bag of raw blood. I mean, okay, that's your life path. That's your goal. Okay, could he have gotten that same amount of energy from something else? Probably so. He just didn't know what he was doing at the time. But blood will definitely give you energy. But if you're gonna cook it, you're destroying all of the natural enzymes. So just cook something else. Cook something in a microwave. Destroy everything about it and turn it into something that it becomes nearly impossible for you to digest. And it's how quickly you can digest something. So if you consume something that's hard to digest, it will take your energy out of your head and put it into your stomach, and thereby letting your thoughts and your anxieties and all of that go down here, and it will be, your energy will be focused there, and you'll be able to sleep. That will ground you. Yeah, 22 days fasting. What's that, Matthew Maxwell? Do you think we should arm ourselves? Oh, I was going to do a video on that today at some point. I wanted to write everything down first, but I was like, at the same time, I'm kind of like, I never write anything down. Why would I start now? And I just wanted to give kind of an overview and list of things that people should consider getting, and it will be things that no matter if you get them now, they'll still be usable for you. They won't. I don't think people should be going overboard to prepare for doomsday. I think you should be somewhat prepared and have a little bit of stock of food, a little bit of stock of this, and maybe there'll be a few important items that are cheap that you can still get use out of other ways. Um, yeah, there's that. There's that. Um, but I think I'll just do a show on that rather than say it here. But should you arm yourself? I don't know. I'll probably just start carrying a bat. Cause I mean I never played baseball, but I would really like. I think I could really get into like, you know, if zombies come through, like just clocking some about the zombie in the skull. I think that would be fun. I don't like the idea of having a handgun. I just don't. I think it's too. It's not. Handguns to me and shooting people from a distance. I think it's a real pussy way to handle life. Like if you got a real problem, you should be able to like knuckle up. But if there's zombies and could poison you, you might as well just get a bat. At least it's personal. That you might actually hit them and get a little blood on you. Then it's personal. Um, where a gun is kind of it's so not personal and so weak. It's a real pussy move, I think. Um, yeah, a hockey stick. If you play hockey, that could be fun. I don't know. I'll probably just go for a bow staff. I mean, my other one I broke. I had my man. I don't know where he went. I broke him one day. My shade, my Shaddai. I broke him one day. Oh yeah, I don't know if you remember my shade. He was my dude, but he wouldn't have. I'm glad I broke him because he wouldn't have lasted in a battle because he was made out of a kind of a weak type of wood. So I need to get a heavier, sturdier stick that I can score damage points on these zombies with. uh, Trey Scott. Yeah, I mean, deer meat. I heard somebody else talking about deer meat the other day. Yeah, they can be pests. Deer can be pests, man. Why you want to kill Bambi? Because they overpopulate. You got to kill them. I get the whole thing, but there's nature out of harmony right now. It's out of balance. I mean, it's always in balance in the sense that there's homeostasis taking place, but out of balance in the sense of how things would work if people were a little on a higher vibe. A Gerber German steel machete. A Gerber German. That's so funny. Do you know what the food that babies are given? It's Gerber. And there's actually a schooling system that's pre-K, pre-kindergarten. That's called Gerber. Gerber baby food. When I was fed a healthy diet of Similac, Gerber baby food, and I went to preschool, pre-kindergarten when I was like 4. I went to Gerber. So funny. Them them, them Germans, those crazy Germans. Uh, have you ever heard of Min Cow? I don't have my. Uh, it's not one of the 12 cell salts, is it? I don't think I've never heard of it because that's. I have the book on the cell salts. What would that be? Would be some sort? Does that mean mineral? What's cow? I don't know what that is. Math, you don't have guns in the UK. You certainly have guns in the UK. You just don't know about them. You don't think there's any gangsters with guns in the UK? There's probably a couple people on here you could ask if there's guns in the UK. Of course there is. just not for the general public. Um, yeah, and I mean, in the United States, there's guns everywhere. Uh, it just depends on if they're open carry or not. If you like live big like that in Texas, everybody got. Yeah, but it's illegal. Yeah, I mean, there's different rules and laws per state here. I know. Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, it's illegal. But do the cops carry guns? Seems pretty legal then if they do. Who's it legal for? Your oppressors? Um, yeah, but I hear you. Yeah, we just get whatever weapon suits you. I don't know. I think all of the movies were to prepare people for a zombie apocalypse. Have I already seen and witnessed people wilding the fuck out? Yeah. 10 years for possession. People get 10 years for possession of weed in the States, so eh. Does that go for the police officers too? Divine, if I can survive for 22 days on distilled water, so can anyone. Jason Rojas. Yeah, you're well. Here's it's not your mind and your body are not one and the same. Your body is the storehouse for memory. If you say mind, I think you mean your brain. Thoughts that can go into you get stuck into your body and fat cells and muscles and all over your body. There are points of storage of memory. This is what happens. You have a memory. You're creating an event. You're participating with something, and then you eat something, and that chemical gets lodged into that food. And if you don't digest it properly, it'll get lodged in your system. So your body becomes a storehouse for memories. So, um, in the sense, are they one and the same? No, this is a decoding device, and your body is the memory storehouse. Um, Does orange contain all the essential salts? I cannot answer that, but I would have to assume so, considering how many people use it for a very long time. And your body also is a laboratory that you can take simple items and create more complex items. Consider the cow. A cow eats no fat, just grass. There's no fat in grass, and somehow produces milk fat. How does that happen? It doesn't really have teeth. It'll gum you to death. How does it produce bone? From eating grass? There's no bones in grass. So your body obviously is creating something out of what you put into it. Yeah. I mean, it depends on your diet, but your body is going to transmute all sorts of substances. It's like even a woman with a bad diet, if she's pregnant, their body will still change and transmute whatever they're putting into something that is the essential ingredients in colostrum and breast milk for the baby. And your body is no different, but we just keep jamming things in it to slow down the process. Yeah, I'm there with Divine Hazel is correct. We're divinely connected souls that can tap into the photon energy of the universe. This is 100% correct. But can we all right now do it? No. That's a physical, mental, emotional, spiritual impossibility for some people. They won't be able to. They don't have that much activated in their system. I mean, if you're talking about the photon system that what the hell is his name? It's one of my favorites. I just haven't seen much of his stuff lately. B. What's his? I even know his emails. B Donna at Yahoo. He's got a Yahoo account still. So funny. Bill Donahue. There you go, Bill Donahue. He always talks about the photons and what that is, and going to church to connect to the photons. Yeah, you can, but it's not. Some people can't use their third eye. Their pineal gland's not popping. Their diet is so tore up. Their bowels are filled. People trust your gut instinct. Most people should not trust their gut because their gut is full of shit, so they can't trust it. How's their gut gonna wade through all of the garbage and you go, I got a gut instinct about something? I'm like, you got a fat, disgusting gut full of shit. You got two people standing there, and somebody says, we should go that way. And I'm like, oh, no, we should go that way. Am I going to trust the fat, overweight asshole that says, well, my gut's telling me this? Well, I don't have a gut. So whose brain are you going to trust? Mine or yours? That, so people aren't connected. They're unable. But you are right. Everyone's capable of it. Just oh, your thoughts are literally, so yeah, your thoughts are very much in your face. Um, what's up, Ziggy? Yeah, your face is a huge portal of information. It's a hologram of your entire system. So the communication that happens on a subtle level with your face, when people mask up, you're not gonna be able to see those subtleties, and therefore people are unable to communicate properly. Not only can they not hear you properly, they're, I mean, listen, the whole thing, the mask thing is so stupid, anyways, because your eyes are, if you got bacteria, whatever that stuff is that's no good, if it got in your eyes, it gets in your pores, it's still going to have the same effect. You're going to have to wear a full on, hazmat suits. Is that what they're going to try? What kind of idiotic shit is that? So that fat divine Buddha is not enlightened. Well, the fat Buddha is an allegory for being content, fat, and happy. It's not actually a fat Buddha. And fat is not the dilemma with people's guts. See, people can be chubby and fat and happy, and have a system that allows for their body to put on more fat. But most people, their guts, the internal organ that is their intestine, you can tell like the way people carry their fat, like how it hangs on them. It will tell you definitely if that Buddha is just fat and happy. You have a Buddha belly, but it's really just an allegory. It's just an idol. It's not saying the Buddha should have been fat by any means. But enlightened, I don't know. The Buddha was manyfold. Which one are you talking about? You talking about just the fat one? I mean, again, they're just allegories for states of mind. Um, and it's not that fat people can't be enlightened. It's not fat people can't connect to the their gut instinct. But again, a big belly doesn't mean a distended gut. I got a beer barometer. I got a barometer for my belly. Yeah, I can tell when my internal system is clogged up and funky. It will affect the way my thinking and feeling goes too. Yeah, I can tell it's a connection. So for most people, if I see them just putting trash into their face all the time, I wouldn't really trust their gut instinct. I don't think the Buddha was out there eating all the unhealthy things. He maybe he was a vegetarian. Somehow his the way that his body expressed itself was to be a little chubbier. That's perfectly fine. I don't mind chubby. I don't mind inana. Let me go grab a beverage. I'll be right back. Okay, welcome, back. Welcome back, Cotter. Ziggy, what'd you say, Hazel the garden bitch? If the body is just a vessel for your spirit, how can you trust your gut? Because your gut is your first brain, because it's decoding things. This brain and this your belly brain is your first brain. This is your second brain. It's decoding things. So it's decoding things that how you gonna listen to your spirit? You don't even know. Everybody talks about spirit. You don't know what your fucking spirit is. You got no fucking idea what your spirit is. If you knew what your spirit was, you would be you'd be doing something wildly different than you are. I guarantee that. You can access it once in a while. You can be participated, but if you're not shamanically dancing blindly in a fit of laughter and rage and confusion and utter joy at all times, and participating in the world as if you were a child, then you do not know what spirit is. You ask too many questions. Not you, but like that. The people are trying to decode things all the time with their mind. The belly will decode what the spirit is saying. The first brain will decode the spirit. The second brain will decode the body. The vessel itself, I mean, it's a tool. We use it. We have to. If you were just spirit, no one would be able to interact with you. You'd be etheric, and you wouldn't be doing anything. There'd be no. You need your physicality. So it's not just a vessel. It's much more than that. Well, that's not hypocritical though, Jason. If your body's in decent shape, it will do what it wants to do, because it will be taken the spirit will be more connected to the body and won't even have to. They'll just bypass both brains. This is the thing about it. People some people love weed, some people like psychedelics, some people like alcohol. There's a point with each of those that you get on a higher level of spirit, higher level of breath, higher level of something, where you bypass the brain and the belly. When you're dancing, you're not thinking about how hungry you are. When you're dancing, you want to go talk to this chick or something, you bypass the brain. It's much easier. You're dealing with spirit. You're dealing with breath. You're dealing with that higher form of energy. What's up, Parsival? Sweat lodges, flared walking. I like sweat lodges. I mean, I've never been to a full-on sweat lodge, but I've done plenty of saunas, plenty of, you know, uh, fire walking. I have not done, but I've walked. I've walked many of miles barefooted on hot beaches and sands and things. What was first developed when you were in the womb? That's funny. I was just talking to somebody that is pregnant about this the other day, and they told me, and I just was like, oh, that's interesting. Um, you could probably figure it out if you didn't know or look it up. But if you grow out of the like a centripetal force, where you go whoop, and you grow like that, everything multiply. You could probably figure out the base point. I mean, what starts first? Where your belly button is? Your belly? I would assume. Why would it grow anything else first? You don't need anything else. You just need whatever's coming from the umbilical cord into your system. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know off the top of my head. I forget. Oh yeah, yeah, I don't want to Google it either. I don't think it's the heart either. I think the heart develops a little later. I think it might be the heart, but oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, she's due pretty soon. She's supposed to be. She's due the 28th of this month. For whatever reason, she's like, oh, maybe it'll be earlier. I don't know. She like kind of, but she's also kind of like, I don't know, because depending on when he's born, what sign he'll be. So she's kind of working with that too. Would I rather have him be a Libra or a water sign, Scorpio? You know, a week early isn't that much early. Like anywhere around 2 weeks early to 2 weeks, 3 weeks late is not that big a deal. So that could cover three different signs really. Um, Gary, the heart. That I guess if you looked it up, then okay, I would go with that. I guess. I mean, check Mercury retrograde. Well, what about it? I mean, I know it is Mercury retrograde right now, right? But okay, okay. 4 weeks after conception, the neural tube along the baby's back is closing. The baby's brain and spinal cord develop from the neural tube. Yeah, I mean, I have a book here. I could also look the shit up in, but I just, yeah, he could be. I said that would be awesome. But she's already named him and stuff, and his name means water. I was trying to convince him not just to give him a different last name too. I was like, don't give him your last name or the dude that got you pregnant. Don't give him that last name. Give him something. Like why force your lineage on him? It's ridiculous. It's bad. It's bad form. Eyes and ears develop at that time. When does the nose happen? Yeah, that seems about right. Yeah, the spinal cord would then go into the brain. That would make the first sense. I mean, it would be the skeletal system too. If I just think about it, you'd have to develop your initial reptilian form. I mean, you go through when you're in the womb, you go through all of the processes. Like the evolution of man is not what you really think it is. It's like in the womb, you go through all those phases of different, like what you'd see as a fish coming into the egg, right? And then go through all of the stages of what you'd call evolution through all of the years. So yeah, the spine makes sense because that would be your first underneath form. So your spine, and then then probably I would guess. I mean, would it make sense that the heart would come next, or would you develop the skeletal system, a soft skeletal system at least? Right on, Gary. The soul comes in the last minute before birth. I heard this. Well, I see. I don't think people are born with souls. I don't agree with that. I would call it the spirit. I said the spirit enters. I would say at 30, 38 weeks usually, and that's what causes it to go. Oh, okay. We should jump out of here. Um, yeah, I don't. I think people develop a soul. I don't think they're born with a soul. I don't think. And besides, unless people lose their souls. I mean, yeah, you're born with a spirit. You got energy about you, but children are soulless. They're spirit filled, and then you go through and you grow, build a soul, and you become part of a larger soul group. I guess that's the way I would view it, at least. The theory of evolution, parts of the theory of evolution is a metaphor for development in the womb. Yes, correct. Jason, peace out. Yeah. Yeah, that's why I thought that the stomach would be formed first too, with the gut feeling. But I mean, it is way bigger than your brain. It's way more like what are the biggest organs that you have? It's your skin, your stomach, your lungs. Well, by stomach I mean intestines. There's more like intestines are lots of like the brain only has so many areas that information could be. This is why the stomach is actually so much more intelligent. But nobody wants to talk to Lord Baal because they've been treating him bad, wondering why everybody hates Lord Baal. Maybe if you treated him good, he would treat you good. Everybody wants all the nice things in life, and they go, "Oh, God did that." But when something goes bad, they don't want to blame God for that. They'll blame the devil. Like, man, maybe just look at yourself, what you're feeding yourself. Maybe everything that you're getting physically on this realm is because of Baal. Word. Uh, Sal Williams let the children name themselves. Yeah. um, the reason is why the gut instincts is because it's the sacral. The sacrum and the sacral. Uh, no, it's not. And I'm saying that questioningly because the sacrum and the secret and the sacred, or the sacrum, and that's the five fused vertebrae in your spine, which is your, that's not your sacral, your sacral chakra. I mean, there's a reason that the red and the orange would be kind of where the part of the transmutation process goes on. It's interesting. Here, look at lights. How are lights? Like you driving your car. Green, yellow, red. Depends on where you are. The red's on top and the green's on the bottom. Green, yellow, red. It's inverted. Some places inverted, but it's about inversion of energy. Because what would you have? Your heart in the middle, then your yellow. So you'd go from green to orange to yellow to red. But they flip it around. They go red. So they're going from the bottom up. They're building the opposite way. It's interesting. Just an interesting connection there. Okay, the bacteria in the gut are, well, it's the bacteria. Yeah, I mean, well, the gut itself is a brain, but if you was completely clean, I mean, think about times that you fasted, the way that even these neural connections have something to do with how quick and how bright your brain is, and considering we're not supposed to be eating at all. You're really not. Like everybody's like, yes, you are. Like, no, you're not. Not. I mean, in this body, I guess, but on higher planes, you don't consume the same way. You consume through here. That's why it's in the center of your face. It's the most. It's basically, your belly button is here. Boop boop. And that's this right here to go right to your brain. Your belly button go right into your intestines. Same thing. Belly button, intestines, belly button, intestines. Intestines is the brain. It's your portal to spirit, to breath, to Mother Earth. You ask your guidance system never connects you to your mother. Nice. That's crazy. I wonder what I asked my guidance system for. I think I probably said if she's a crackhead, I just would rather not know. What's up, C Noble? Yeah. Well, I mean, see, if you filter the stuff through this brain. So what you're seeing here, and listening to here, and smelling, and it gets filtered through this brain. What you eat here, that goes down here, is getting filtered by this brain. So if you're powerful enough, you can observe anything through your ears, eyes, nose, and go, okay, I can figure that out and decode it. It's the same thing as shamans, yogis, blah blah blah. They could eat just about anything and it wouldn't bother them, because they would filter it, take out what's good, and just get rid of the rest of the shit. It's to say, don't call me dude. I, I'm just saying. I mean, just because you have two boys, I'm just reminding you. Just because you have two boys doesn't mean you know anything. Just remember that. I was just questioning. I was like, because I didn't think it was, because the sacrum is connected to the sacral. The secret is the base of the spine. So I'm saying that's not connected to the stomach. That was the point. I mean, it could be. Here, I'll look it up right now. But let's see. Which one is the sacral? Feeding and disease mystery. And we'll even see how the body is created. How the brain grows. You want to talk about how the brain grows? What grows first? Oh, here we go. Sacral chakras. So the lymph. It's interesting that the seven of the seven archangels, the Sakiel is the lymphatic or immune system, which is the yellow system, which is the third system up, which solar plexus. Let's see. The sacral plexus is the muscle skeletal system. So the sacral plexus, the nerves of menorah, or the seven candles of light, are connected to the sacral, which is the skeletal, which is the spine, which is not the intestines. The intestines are connected to the digestive eliminatory system, which are connected to the also a thyroid thing, and is connected to, or whatever the name of the green chakra is. But that's the solar plexus, or excuse me, the solar plexus. That's where the intestines is. So no, the intestines are not connected to the sacral. It's connected to the spinal, which is, or interestingly enough, I mean, it could be, depending who you ask, it's either the skeletal or the lymphatic system. But it's definitely not the digestive eliminatory system, which is the green chakra, which is not the sacral chakra. So I would just I'll sit and still wonder about it, but my gut instinct was that I don't think that was right. I had to correct a couple people, Savan's website, and they were using things that weren't lining up. They were like using foods and systems that were not connected to the right systems. And I was like, somebody needs to double check this work. It's wrong. Yeah, Ziggy. You're more connected to fruit instead of veggies. Yeah, that's a. I think most people should be. I think veggies are a non. I don't think we're supposed to eat vegetables. I think we're supposed to eat fruit, and maybe maybe tubers, maybe beans, bean sprouts, fish. I think that's more of the human diet. I don't think we're really supposed to eat the green stuff. I think that's probably food for the animals that are walking at that level that can bend over and eat that stuff. I think that's what they're for. They're not supposed to eat the fruit because they can't reach up there and get it. It's not theirs. That's ours. If we're really, really getting deep on it. Ours is here, and ours is we can dig underground. They can eat the tubers if they can get to it, but they don't want to eat the tubers because they can't cook it. We can dig underground, grab tuber, potato, whatever, cook it, because that's what the alchemical fire is. If the sun is equivalent to the fire inside of your digestive system and the one fire that you're making in the pot to cook something. That's why I think we're supposed to go like this and grab the fruit off the tree and eat it, and it goes down here, and it's fruit is of the highest knowledge. And the tubers, I think, are supposed to balance. I don't really think I've never really found too many green vegetations that I like to eat. There's not too many of them. Cucumbers is about the size of it. The rest of the stuff, kale, ugh, take your kale and shove it up your ass. Everybody look, kale. Why did this come from? Where is kale? Everybody loves kale. No, you like kale after it's cooked or chopped up real fine with garlic and all of this. Nobody wants to just to eat some kale. I'll take a bite of a iceberg lettuce. I like cucumbers, but for a general thing, there's not too many things that sit on the ground. I think that's for a different animal. Yeah. Um, when you did a really long water fast, didn't you say you reached a point where you leveled out and stopped losing weight? Yeah, I mean, I probably I did it in the winter, and I probably would have leveled out and stopped losing weight at about 140 something. I've always, whenever I fast, I end up at 144 pounds. It's like without question, that's my weight. When I fasted in the winter and I got dehydrated at the end because I just wasn't drinking enough water, I got below 140, and it was that's when I ate again. I probably could have maintained a weight of about 100, 140, 145, somewhere in there. But that would be me in the winter, not breathing, not grounding, not getting any sunlight, and getting no exercise. So my weight properly would probably be in the 150s. You know, I could probably do the most in the 150s. Although I was most athletic in 180-pound range. Guess it just depends on where I was living, but I was living also in the north when I was 180. So I needed more fat on my body. I needed more musculature. Living in the south, I don't need as much weight. So in the south, I've stayed, even though I live in a city that will be, most people here will be like, oh, there's food everywhere. How do you stay skinny? Because I eat and process differently. And my weight is probably, I say, between 150 and 160. Yeah. Hey, Divine, did you do the eye cupping and stuff? What's up, Shade Sun Nada? That's the same book that I was reading out of. That was the Pharmacist Desk reference. Uh, Stomach is the third up the Yeli Manipura. Green chakra is the heart. Yes. Thank you, Matthew. Fried green tomatoes are one of my favorite things. I don't know. You know what? I think I would like a fried green tomato and heirloom tomato sandwiched together on white bread with some mayonnaise. And that'd be pretty dope. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Divine. Yeah, it definitely depends on where you live if you're gonna have veggies in your diet. But I think the majority of people where they would live is the majority of their food would be stews and tubers, some greens, no fruit, meat. That'd be very cold. Getting into the climate, probably where you live, you'd probably have some greenery in your diet because you're not gonna have so many fruits. But as a totality, what I think what I'm getting at is what our species, where our species should live. And some of you may be from a different species, uh, but you should live in closer to. I think you're supposed to live between the tropics. I think that's about our range, the tropics to the equator. That's about the size of it. Um, so where is the tropic start? What is it? 33.5 or something? Tropic of Cancer, Tropic of Capricorn. What's the number? 33.5. So below that. well, I mean, it's actually hotter, closer to the sun, closer to the center, but uh, yeah, I mean, I like romaine lettuce. Peas, it's too much work. String beans, I like, but I like them out of a can. I mean, yeah, there is some vegetation, but if we're being like, you should be closer to the equator, and what would be growing near the equator, the vegetation, I think, the animals that would be around, what they would be eating, would be those kind of things, and what humans would be eating would be something of a higher realm. Broccoli, broccoli, Divine Hazel. I know you said it's good raw. Broccoli fucking sucks raw. It's terrible. Cauliflower and broccoli suck raw. You gotta cook it. Gotta be cooked. It's gotta be cooked. It's gonna have two different effects on the body. Same way with fiber. It's basic fibers. Anything you eat, there's a reason. Like you would never cook a fruit. It doesn't make a lot of sense unless you're making tomato sauce. But then now we're getting into semantics about, is that a fruit or is that a vegetable? Um, and you cook fruits kind of to make jellies and jams. That way they can be stored. There's reasons for doing it, but um, yeah, broccoli and most things, you would never just eat a potato raw. It makes no sense. It does nothing. It tastes awful. It's trash. But you cook that potato. Hey, there's some potatoes I like. Just give me a yellow, golden potato. Just cook that. I could eat it without butter, without salt. I like butter and salt on it. I like maybe a little garlic, but a little bit of butter, a little bit of salt. I mean, and the salt is really unneeded in a lot of those too. But uncooked, it's garbage. So is broccoli uncooked. Brussels sprouts. Broccoli is weird, but I really like broccoli cooked. Um, Brussels sprouts, another thing. That's another thing. Raw broccoli, Brussels sprouts can go fuck themselves. Little Brussels sprouts, little pieces of garbage cooked. They're amazing. But what do you have to do? You got to cook them, put the balsamic vinegar on them. You got to put the, you know, it's not it's roughage. It's not. It give you no nutrition raw. All these people are on raw diets and stuff. There's a lot of foods that you have to cook. It's part of the thing to cook them. Uh, but you can eat, if you shredded up Brussels sprouts and you put it with a sauce, like I don't know, put some golden raisins, some goat cheese, and some sesame oil, balsamic vinegar, maybe like oregano. I mean, you could make a cool salad out of it, but it's going to have a wildly different effect on the system. One being a cleaning agent, and one being something that will give you nutrition. I'd much rather eat leaves. Do I think water intake has to do with weight? Certainly. Water. Like, there's a lot of people that probably don't gain weight at the gym because they don't breathe right, and B, their water intake's all wrong. And yeah, of course it does. I mean, depends on your climate too. Whether you live in a moist climate or a dry climate. Yeah. Ah, see it. Oh, you've done the fermented. Nice. Yeah, yeah. Nutritional value. Well, here's the thing, though. Let me try to explain something to you. To say that iceberg has no nutritional value. Again, I'm gonna have to just say you're probably wrong here. In fact, I know you're wrong on this one. I'll explain it to you. Let me find the reference here. It's right here. What? Here, I'll tell you something that people don't think has any nutritional value, and then I'll explain to you everything that's in it. I mean, I'm not saying that. I think it's, again, starting with, you don't, not you, but people don't know what nutrition is. They have no clue. Let me find it. Hey, hold this. So funny here. There's a whole thing. What exactly is nutrition, anyways? Digestion, nourishment, mental canal, alimentary canal, sustenance, pharynx, larynx, esophagus. Yeah, probably get into that. I need to find this page though. Nutritional components of a piece of celery. Most people would say celery has no calories and no nutrition in it, or minimal nutrition. Here you go. What you're made of. Here. Um, a celery has at least 12,000 micronutrients that most people would say don't exist because they've never studied them. No. So celery has about 2,000, where corn has about 14,000 micronutrients. Here, would you like me to read some? Beta alanine, beta udesmol, beta huminolone, bromine, boron, butyl oxide, naphthalide, calcium, caffeic acid, cadmium root, celericide, chlorogenic acid, choline, choline absorbate, eugenol, dimethylamine, dihydro. See, like I could just name that, and people go, no, celery has got nothing in it. It's just fiber and water, when it is just totally invalid and untrue in every way. And just the same way as there's no nutritional value to a piece of iceberg lettuce is wrong. It's just wrong. Simple. Yeah, eat what makes you feel good. 23.5. Okay. Yeah, 23.5. You should live in the tropics. Oh, Ziggy, you've never had fried green tomatoes till yesterday? Did you make them did you put breading on them? I mean, that's the proper way to do it, but I mean, you could just fry them up, I suppose. Yeah, fried green tomatoes are dope. You're not Divine. You're not fond of the nightshades. Red tomatoes. Oh man, I like yellow ones. Heirloom yellow ones. Oh, sweetest, so good. Yeah, the ziggy. There you go. I mean, steaming broccoli is the right way to do it. I don't mind overcooking my broccoli just because I just thoroughly enjoy overcooked broccoli. Steamed, if I'm eating in a Chinese restaurant, yeah, that's the way to do it. It just tastes. I want that little bite, that nice little crunch to the broccoli. But yeah, raw broccoli, it's no nutrition because you cannot digest it, much like many other things. But it will act as a cleanser for the system. Yeah, you need to unlock it. I could get down with, see, with the raw broccoli's got to have homemade dip. You got to have a dip with it. So you got to have that French onion and all the other flavors because raw broccoli itself tastes like fucking, I don't know, like ugh. And it's so funny because overcooked broccoli is one of my favorite things as long as I have a little bit of flavor on it. But raw broccoli can go, ugh, ugh. Nice. Gary, that bread that you're talking about, the whole 7 grain slice avocado roasted red. Yeah, that's one of my favorite sandwiches. If you go to like a good sandwich shop that's kind of gears towards vegetarian, vegan stuff, that's the sandwich. That's always the sandwich. Oh, and beets are my favorite. My I like beets Uh, pickled beets are great, or just beets cooked properly. You can roast them or boil them. Beets are good for heart food. Yeah, celery with peanut butter and golden raisins are good, good, good. Ants on a log. Yeah, I know about ants on a log. Yeah, you'd burn more calories, yeah, but the calorie thing is not really a nutrition thing. So it's not something I look at too much about the caloric intake, because you know what, a piece of coal has a lot of calories in it. Go ahead and eat a piece of coal. It's not gonna for people that are like, oh, I'm very calorie conscious. Well, just because you eat a piece of coal, it's gonna take a long, isn't it? That's a lot of calories. But your body's probably not going to do anything with that, so it doesn't really matter. It's kind of like a piece of steak. You got it on the it says here's the weight and here's how much protein, fat, blah blah blah. Then you cook it, and you're like, everything that you just told me about that piece of steak no longer applies after it's cooked. No one's studying a piece of cooked steak. They're studying raw steak before as soon as it's cut. They're studying that raw steak. So all of that after people were eating that cooked steak, none of that exists anymore. If you can't process or digest something, what are you getting from it? You're getting it to be a cleansative for the body. That's the point of it. It's like eating cooked nuts versus raw nuts. Raw nuts your body will digest, and you'll get nutrition from them. You get energy. Where cooked nuts, or they become an insoluble fiber. So they'll scrape things and clean your intestines out. They both have a purpose. You got the iced tea. I got some iced tea too, Gary. Yeah, celery with peanut butter and the raisins. That's one of my favorites. Yeah, there you go. The isolated. That's a more scientific way of looking at things that people get but yeah, that exactly it. Isolated sodiums like monosodium glutamate. The reason it's so bad is because it just like sugars, because the sodium itself is isolated and therefore gets into the body quicker and causes much havoc and chaos. Where it's kind of like long chain versus short chain acids versus um, what you'd call like it's like building blocks of things that are constructive versus chemicals that go in the body to do something that are constructive. Um, so sodium or sugar should be of a bigger molecular size, so your body uses energy to break it down. This is why sugar cane in its raw form and sugar that comes from fruit is different than, they even name it different. Different than like sugar from honey. Even all of these are different. The size of the molecules and how your body breaks it down is going to be how quickly it gets in your system and how much it overfloods your body with um, glucose, which will cause diabetic symptoms. So if somebody who had diabetes, you could you don't have to get rid of sugar. You don't have to eat a candy bar. Switch it in for actual healthy sugars. Quickly disperse diabetes with sugars that come from fruits. But people that get diabetes, they're not eating too much fruit. They're eating shit that has too much sugar in it. People that have sodium problems, it's not from using a little bit of sea salt here and there. It's not from not put. It's from eating all of these things that have isolated sodiums they're causing havoc on the system, causing havoc of the way the mind works, anxiety, all sorts of things in the belly and the gut. Those isolated sodiums, no good. Oh man, I wish I could eat avocado every morning. Yeah, yeah. You got to put the breading on it. Jason Ross, do you think sun gazing is a good use of time? It's one of the best uses of time. I mean, it's better than most anything else you could do. You could look into someone's eyeballs. You know, sun gaze. That's actual soul gazing. Try that. Don't do it too long. You might fall in love with somebody. It's why people are scared of making eye contact for over a certain number of seconds. Because if you make eye contact with somebody, you'll end up having what is like a connection, like a soul connection. You want somebody to fall in love with you? You want somebody to be entranced by you? You can do it for a bad reason. That's why look into my eyes, and then you're looking at the stopwatch, but you're looking into the eyes, because the person's entraining you. They're entrancing you. If you know it's happening, you can say, okay, I'll look in your eyes, whatever. If you don't know what's happening, you know, some people use it for an evil purpose, but you could get somebody to love you, but you'd also end up falling in love with them. Like Gary, there you go. Oh yeah, Kalamata, tepanad on sourdough. Oh, sourdough is the greatest. I have some sourdough starter in there that's been going around for a while. I don't know, I forget who gave it to me, but years and years ago. Um, yeah, sourdough is the jammy jammers. I haven't made any bread in a while because I haven't lived in a place that had a good enough kitchen for it. I used to have a house with, giant kitchen and all of the nice countertops, so you can make bread and do all sorts of that stuff. But in a small kitchen, making bread is kind of an issue. Maple sugar is good. Maple syrup, yeah, that's good for you. Larger molecular size again. Yeah, well, Jason, I mean, staring in the sun and sun gazing, I also got deterred from because it's the same thing as covering yourself in piss and laying in the sun. Same as having being on a higher vibe, and you start staring in the sun, and like it can be, you don't necessarily want to. Um, do you want to see spirits? Do you want to see auras? There's actually glasses out there that you can see auras with, um, and you can see spirits with. And there's a certain type of material that they don't. It's very hard to find. It's hard to. It's kind of years ago they were doing this study with this red material. I don't know what was special about it, but it wasn't just like red ink. It was something different about it. It's very funny because it's a connection to the red Mercury, and connection to the red Sun and the red October and just red in general. But they were giving, they were trying to produce a type of night vision. So night vision, as you know it now, it uses a green and a yellow filter, a green filter. But then depending on the lighting, you put an extra layer of the yellow filter, and it'll brighten things up and change contrast. But they used to try it with the red filter, and they found out that using this red filter, for whatever reason, they were using a special substance. I don't know, I forget what it's called. I could probably find it. Um, I don't know if it had anything to do with that, or just the color red in general, and no one's tried it again. But they were giving it to pilots that were in, World War I or whatever, flying, and they would end up seeing literal demons and spirits outside of the windows. That they were like, oh, like, remember those They Live glasses? Like, what if those were real? And what some people from the military said was like, you know, this is like, I mean, I guess it's declassified or whatever. It was these stories of somebody like, my uncle was in the military, worked at Area 51, worked on, these type of engines and this and that, and they also were developing this kind of technology. And they found out that the red tinted glasses. And now is there a reason that you listen to a lot? God, listen, why is the songs always about rose colored glasses? And also understand that look at these artists, musicians, that they always wearing red tinted glasses. A lot of them you think that are black glasses, they're red tinted. They're just dark red because they can see spirits. I'm guessing that. I don't know this for sure, but I'm guessing that. And then some of them use different color glasses at different times. I always like yellow ones, but that's preference for me. Joey Scott, that is one of my favorite. Everything that you just said there is exactly what I want to eat, with the exception of chickpeas. But the chickpeas will get turned into um, hummus. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You asked me this earlier, Divine. I don't know if you heard me. I didn't know what is min kal. I never know. I've never heard of it. It has all the trace elements. Um, it, no, I never heard of it. I'll look into it. But as per usual, what trace elements are and whether they're going to be usable and bioavailable to the body is another thing. You could isolate them and go, okay, here's the elements. You go, that's cool. But I've taken cell salts, and they gave me arthritis, and they didn't fix my problems. Um, However, from when I found out what foods had those things in it, I started eating those foods, and it fixed a lot of things. So, and again, there's nothing wrong with cell salts, and they're great, but they just have to be. You have to make sure. I don't know, because there's different brands. You got like the Schulzers, and you've got a few other ones. I just forgot what they are called off the top of my head. But the main call, I'll have to look into that. I mean, colloidal minerals. I mean, if that's, I suppose what you might mean, colloidal minerals, coal min. If you mean colloidal minerals, I know all about colloidal minerals, and it's usually in a liquid substrate, and it's as far as I've been, so as far as I know, they're very bioavailable, and usually you would take them in. Usually they would be something like the less known elements that you need, rhodium, um, maybe gold, maybe silver, maybe all of these things in a uh, liquid substrate. And when see, the thing is, whenever I was using those, I was also doing a bunch of other things, and I could get out of body really easy. Like I could take a nap in the afternoon and roll out of my body, go walk around. Ah, I did not know meat spike insulin. Interesting. Yeah, get that brown eye sun gazing. What's up, Junie? Do you think it's possible to convince somebody to not consume salt? Sure. I've convinced a lot of people not to consume salt. Probably hundreds, if not thousands of people. And they've all been better off for it. What type of salt? Salt that comes from inorganic salt that you get that you just it's I've had hundreds. I've probably hundreds of videos on salt. I have at least a dozen that is hours of me explaining in so many different ways why salt consumption is bad. And I would go to Andrew Norton Webber's website, Aquarius the Water Bearer, and you can understand about salt. Once you understand that that you don't want minerals in your water and you want distilled water, you have a different view of what salt is and where you're getting salt from and how your body is using it. So dumb. Sodium. So dumb. Sodium. Interesting. Yeah. Well, I mean, sodium, as is absorbed from a plant material, is a great idea for the body. Sodium is the daytime element along with calcium, both good for the body. But sodium and calcium, both good for the body, but they have to come from plant source, fruit source, food source. And a piece of what you'd call table salt, sodium, NaCl? Is that, yeah, whatever. That's a chemical. And it's too much, and it's not, and it's inorganic. And then the two nighttime elements that are outside of the blood, either intercellular and extracellular fluid, are potassium and magnesium. People have too little magnesium, therefore their sodium and their calcium are too high because it's out of balance. Get more potassium and magnesium, chocolate and bananas in your diet. Fresh squeezed lemon water. Yep. And the AMs, if you really want to take a dump, just have fresh squeezed lemon or lime, and it'll clean you right out. You don't even need the coffee. Like I haven't drank coffee in a couple days. That wasn't really affecting my sleep. In fact, a couple days that I was drinking coffee, I got better sleep. Really weird. I don't really desire coffee right now. Although I might have a cup in this afternoon. Yeah, the distilled water is the way to go with lemon juice, and you're gonna get all your elements that you need from there. Lemon is a resonator for the sun. Speaking of snacks, just found this Middle Eastern restaurant yesterday. We are going to have a snack. And I'll tell you what I got. What do I got here? Got calamata. I got... Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I prefer them to be pitted, but I handle it. Got chickpeas. Hummus. Got tzatziki. Cucumber and yogurt. Oh, it's so good. And I got baba ganoush, which is eggplant, which can go really right or really wrong. Wrong. This is really right. Alright, these are balls of goodness. You don't either. A little bit of that tzatziki in there. Falafel ball. And then I got kibbeh, which is beef. It just came in the sampler platter. I got the spinach phyllo dough. It's so dope because they got onion and like I don't know what else they put in here, but it's red. That's magic. That place was mad cheap too. We just opened up. It's too bad it's across town. It's not way over there. And then a little bit of feta. Yeah. Fucking dope. Two dope boys in a Cadillac. Oh yeah. So good. A little bit of tartness from feta. Yeah, I mean, a little bit of sea salt is not going to kill you. In fact, it might give you a little bit of a boost. It might give you a little energy. But it's just something that I found that within my diet in general, I'm getting salt from everywhere I go. You're not gonna escape if you eat out a lot, and if you're not cooking everything at home yourself. Like 100% of what you're getting is all like it's all organic, good, blah blah blah. You're gonna find enough salt that I tend not to. The only thing I add salt to is a little bit on my broccoli if I overcook my broccoli. Other than that, such a minimal amount of salt. Before I fasted, it's so funny. My dietary habits completely changed after I fasted, my long one, and then
Mm. I did a couple short ones, and I remember going out to eat at restaurants that I liked afterwards that I thought were really good. I just wasn't noticing how salty the food was. And so I was there with somebody I'd fasted with. I was like, this is really salty. They're like, yeah, it's like unedible, like inedible salty. And we're like, did they just like, they got a bad cook today? Well, it was like a restaurant we knew. And we got two different dishes. So we find everywhere we went was way too salty. I mean, there's a lot of people say, we make arguments for salt. It's not needed. I make it very simple. If you don't live in the Himalayas, you don't eat Himalayan sea salt. You know, and the natives didn't use salt. Most of them will turn their nose up at it. And other people that do use salt, using different kinds of salt. What's native to them? This is so dope right now. You guys really want some of this. It's really good. If this place sold like, you know, some places that you can order like from a different state, and you'll ship it to you like, you know, freeze dried or whatever. You get like pizzas from Chicago, whatever. If this place do delivery like that, I would tell you, certainly go get some. Perfectly everything is done. That was cheap too. This one I think $14. And this is me and somebody already ate this entire thing. I'll have another meal out of this. So get 4 meals for $20 out of this. Pretty dope. Or maybe a little more than that. We got olives and feta. That was another $5, but $5. Yeah, and silverware. There's a good chapter in this book. It's called Nuclear Spoons. It's like what people think they're spoons, and why are we shoving metal objects in our mouth? I went and got wooden ware. Sometimes I want to use my hand, and I mean with all of this, it can kind of be messy sometimes. Like, but though, for real though, like foods that use a bread, like a naan or a like Indian food, hand to mouth. Ethiopian food, a lot of Greek food, Egyptian food, you know, all is pretty much hand to mouth, which is, you know, kind of the way you're supposed to eat, really. There shouldn't be too many things that you need a spoon or fork for. You should never really have a fork. Chinese culture, I'm gonna say Chinese completely, but they don't. The reason they chop everything up in the kitchen, chopping something is violent. The reason they use chopsticks, because taking a fork and jabbing your food is violent. They give you chopsticks, you pick it up. They're a little more sophisticated. They don't want to get their hands all dirty. Use chopsticks. So there's no knife and there's no fork at the table. And there's also no salt and pepper at the table. We properly season everything in the kitchen. It comes out the way it should be. Places that have salt and pepper on the table don't eat there. If they don't know what they're doing and they don't believe in their cooking enough, we don't want to eat there anyways. Alright, last bite. Alright, okay. Not last bite, one more bite. Let's get the whole mix up. We got a little bit of hummus, a little bit of baba ganoush, a little bit of tzatziki, a little bit of feta. It'll be good. Yeah, Mediterranean culture is also very hand to mouth culture. I'm even thinking that even when they eat lamb, it's on up. They leave the bone on, and you pick it up by the bone. And I'm using a fork and knife. Plates are small plates, all shareable. All right, how about that? Oh, so good. And a Mexican Coca-Cola, but only like a little bit. Can help digest things. A little bit of acid, a little bit of extra acid in there. Well, a little snack time. I'm Mr. Mannion. Yeah, our taste buds totally acclimate to reducing salt to the point that it becomes pretty inedible. Like you would never give your child salt. A newborn, you would never consider thinking of giving it any salt, especially not in the amount that we would eat. It would poison them. You'd kill a small child. Something to kill a small child, it would kill an adult too. You just LD50. You know what the LD50 on salt is? Somebody go look it up. That's called the lethal dose. It's pretty low for what you'd consider a food item because it's not a food item. Yeah. Oh, you use actually silverware. I enjoy as much as I've only used actual silverware a couple times, and that's for the hygienic value because it's clean. Um, I don't mind like putting the wood utensil. It's not as bad. Or ceramic, like if you're eating soup, like a soup, then a spoon is necessary. It's like the little miniature ceramic ladles if you go to a Chinese restaurant. It's not really all you need. Hmm. Interesting. I've never been to anywhere they do that, but Matthew need to take my Doug's. Oh, I thought you. Okay, at first, nah, I read it out loud. You need to take your mutt out. I see what you're saying. For a she. Well, this. I don't know if you can hear this, but literally they're doing work in the house next to me or something, and it is. And it's super. It's become excessively annoying to me. So I think what I'll do is I'll call this a show. And what I'll do is I'm gonna go walk over to the park a little bit and do a show from over there. You guys can join me over there if you want. So how's that sound? Because this noise, if you can't hear it, it's like it's echoing and it's really obnoxious. I figured it was gonna go away after a second, but it's not. It sounds like it's in the room right there, but they might be doing it outside. It might be echoing in there. whatever it is. I don't like it. I don't like it. So yeah, everybody, it's been a pleasure. Hope you enjoyed. I will be back probably within an hour or so, but we'll see. I think I need to shower right now. It's good to see y'all, and then later tonight we'll do a zoomy zoom if you guys want. I won't be able to do it this afternoon because I'm not going to bring my computer with me. I mean, I guess I could do a zoom on my phone, but the chat's a little funny. All right, I'm out of here, guys. Have a weird day. Stay goofy. Talk soon. Bye.